What's going on, guys? This is Spade. It has come to my attention, based on Facebook memories and other random stuff like that, it has been an entire year since I got my E39 back from bodywork and paint. And I just wanted to go over a few things that have happened in that year. Nothing else has been done to the car since we got it back. I was wanting to start doing the interior and other little odds and ends, but ever since getting the car back from paint and body, the car has been cursed. And the reason why I say that is because anytime I have taken this car out to go somewhere, do something has always happened to the car. One of the very first times I took the car out, something fell from the sky and smashed either it was a ding or something fell from the sky and smashed the roll right on top of the driver's side door. Huge chip of the paint right there. And I've just kind of, ever since then, I've just had a very closely matched piece of vinyl wrap covering that hole that I've just never done anything with. I wanted to get the entire car cut and buffed. We have not done that yet. Basically a paint correction to get rid of the orange peel and stuff, because I wanted it done by a certain guy who I know is extremely good at that, but I just haven't had time or the funds because he is a pricey guy. So that hasn't been done. Sure. Oh man, I want to say like 6 months ago, maybe 7. I was on my way to a car meet. 18-wheeler put me into a wall. I broke both driver's side wheels, had to wind up getting them refinished. And then after I got those back, I was driving back from a pool hall because I go shoot pool some days while my kids are at school. And then I was driving back from a pool hall. There was a huge traffic stop, and then traffic started to go, and the car in front of me, which was an SUV, ran over a tire tread. Like a tire tread came off a tire, so it's essentially, I guess it'd be a delamination. The tread came off the tire, and the car in front of me ran over it, flipped it up in the air, and it landed under my bumper, which my car is pretty low, which forced my bumper back and up, which then cracked the molds on my front over fenders right around the headlights. So that fully needs to be refiberglassed and repainted now. Oh man, what else? Hail. We got a major hailstorm that I was not prepared for. So the roof has hail dings all over it. So that has led me down a rabbit hole of looking at doing a full carbon roof, like deleting the sunroof and doing a full carbon roof on it. I know a company used to make a carbon roof for the car. I'm not sure if they still do. I do know of 2M Auto Works out in California that they recently made a carbon roof for a touring E39, so a wagon. So I'm exploring options there. Because my sunroof doesn't work now. That was something that happened. I hate to put the blame on the paint shop, but they broke it. It was stuck up and they were trying to push it down while closing it to try to give it some leverage, but old BMW plastics, they broke the arms, so it doesn't go into that vent mode anymore where it just kind of props up. It can only go forwards and backwards now. But I mostly used the vent feature, so can't use that now. I could always replace the replace the sunroof cassette, pull it down and replace it that way if I wanted to, but I think I would rather just carbon roof the car at that point. So there's a few things that I wanted to do with the interior. We can go over those, but that has nothing to do with the year we've had the car. I've done the exhaust in the year we've had the car. I don't think I did the exhaust. I did the exhaust before I took it to paint, so that doesn't count. But as a whole, we haven't really done anything. Just a lot of negative stuff has happened to the car. We had a very high windstorm, and my car cover that I have is the type that clamps under the car. So it has straps that you throw under the car and then clip them so it doesn't fly off during high winds. I forgot to clip it one day, and the winds took it and blew it off the car, and the clips actually dragged along the car. So there's little minor scratches and chips from the clips dragging along the car. I've used a little buffer to try to get them out best as possible I could, which it's close, but they're there if you look really hard enough. The other big thing that happened is I'm a renter. I rent this property. My landlord, we had a tree fall down in the front of my house, and then my landlord had his guys come and basically cut apart that tree, remove it, and then essentially cut away any dead branches and dead trees from the property. So I lost another tree. They took that one down, and there's a tree over my driveway that they cut half off, and the half that they cut was facing my house. And I asked them if I needed to move my car, and they blatantly told me, I have it in recording, where they're like, no, you don't need to move it because we're not cutting anything over there. And I was like, all right, cool. And the car was uncovered at that time. And whenever I come back from doing what I needed to do that day, there is scratches probably about 13, 14 inches wide, like 4 good ones about this width, 14 inches or so. And it's just in a, pattern where the tree limbs fell on my car. I was able to buff them out for the most part, just with my buffer. I'd have to do like a paint correction to actually get the scratch out itself, because it's very fine. But I was able to clean the scratch to where it's hardly noticeable at all. But that was fucking annoying. So I had to provide that footage to my landlord and everything, and he doesn't want to pay. He put it on his guys, and they don't want to pay, so it's whatever at this point. But yeah, so essentially after getting the car back from paint and body, it's just been cursed. That's why you don't really see me post anything about it. I don't really drive it. It's been a huge topic of discussion about selling the car. My kids don't want me to sell it, but I do have a local guy who has a standing cash offer if I do want to sell it, and it is a good one. It is almost what I have in the car. And for those of you that have watched these videos about my E39, I've put a decent amount into it. So it's close to getting all of that back if I did sell the car, because I've done so much to this thing. I wouldn't sell it for Blue Book on the car. It's not either I'm going to sell it for what I got in it or close to it, or I'm not going to sell it at all. I'm not one of those. I understand that mods don't equal money and maintenance doesn't equal money when it comes to selling a car, but they do if you're selling it to the right person. And I don't need to sell the car. I will if the amount's right at the time. But that's where we're at now. It's still up in the air about if I'm going to sell it or not, because I'm just tired of anytime I take the car out, something happens. But either way, what would you do in this scenario? Would you offload the curse to somebody else, or would you just keep sticking through it? Let me know. But this has been a crazy year for this thing.